Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Saturday with the Pegwarmers. Chris, 1000th Ghost, couldn't join us because he is at some sort of convention, and it sounds like there were lots of toys being sold. He was the last couple of streams.
Very jealous.
Yeah, he's been getting stuff together to sell. So thank you for coming in. As you can probably tell, it's going to be Indiana Jones themed. Raiders of the Lost Ark, 40th anniversary. I told my mom that this morning, and she was like, "Oh my god," she couldn't believe it's been 40 years. But
hooray!
Yes, it is.
Hey, G-Force.
Oh, that's not Raiders, is it?
So how's it going, John and Mark?
Yeah, it's not bad. We watching the football all day, so.
G-Force just creating, saving, uploading a 10 store toy hunt video.
Oh.
Nice. Hey, Rozef, how's it going?
I hate snakes.
I hate snakes.
So my snake, Reggie.
Jacques, there's a snake in here.
Hey, Vern, how's it going?
Hey, bud.
Hey, Luke.
Luke.
Oh, hey, how you doing, guys?
Not the
You should have got Luke on.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was back 40 years ago for it. What's it like now?
3 legends. Thank you, Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Four.
Bob there in there, yeah.
4.
Here's the 4th legend right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do our top 5 favorite moments from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I figured we could start off with, the usual, if we had anything pickups wise. Mark's saying no.
I'm saving my money for my. You know what I'm saving my money for, so.
Right. Yeah.
But I did. There's something I didn't show last time. If I can show that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Now,
We'll go John. We'll go John first.
Oh, I'm going first. Well, I got that Mon Calamari Warrior, which the video should be up. You guys can see that. I think this guy's awesome. So cool. Look at his feet. So nice.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. So he can fight the Quarren Warrior. I don't know. What else did I get? There's nothing else in arm's reach that I think I recently picked up. So, yeah. Because, you guys already saw the Iron Man stuff. So, yeah. Send it over to Mark.
Just call me old by dating Raiders of the Lost Ark at 40 years.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, we'll talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark in a bit because it means a lot to me. This is something I got down at Leicester, which I didn't show last week. I don't know why. It's Femi Taylor and Salacious. It's signed by Femi Taylor.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool.
I have met her, but I didn't get her autograph. So to find it was really, really nice. A really good price as well. And it's Kenner, of course. So
yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I just need to get a case for it and put it where it rests on me. Signed figures. And hopefully in a couple of months I will be getting General Veers as well. Yeah.
Cool. He's a nice guy, man. We met him at Celebration. I just didn't get I think I was out of tickets by the time, but I went up and talked to him anyways, Yeah. I was out of autograph tickets when I went by him, but
Julian Glover, yeah, I'd have a hard time deciding whether I wanted him to sign something, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, or Game of Thrones.
That's it. Bringing it back to Indiana Jones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the difficult things about a Star Wars Celebration is there was like, I think that one where I met him, there was like 40 or 50 different actors, So you physically don't have enough money to get every single signature.
Yeah, that's it.
You buy like a batch. Like I think it's like you can buy 1 ticket for a certain amount. You could buy 5 for 10 gives you a big discount. So I think I bought like a 10-pack of tickets, and some actors were 1 ticket, some actors are 2 tickets, some actors were 3. So by the time I got to him, I was out of tickets. It's like, and I still had got like 5 or 6 autographs. So it was like, so you can't. You just Yeah, but some of the guys I just go up to and talk to anyways. I'm like, no, I'm out of tickets, but I just want to say hi. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
you're there. You might as well.
I've done that before with famous people.
Or hear the stories. You know, you just walk up and you want to hear
Yeah.
a
Oh,
story
yeah.
or whatever. You know, like you just listen to what other people ask and,
Yeah.
you know, chime in or just listen. You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Good thing about meeting famous people. They've all got a good story.
Yeah, there's always something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met very few famous people, but
The Ewoks especially, like a lot of the guys, even people that like in the film are sort of unnamed, you know, but they played the Ewok. Like if you meet some of these guys, especially if they get together at one show, there was one of the celebrations I went to where like 4 or 5 of the Ewoks were there and they were all next to each other. And those guys are a riot, man. They had all these stories about stuff that they did, things they did backstage, stuff they did to Warwick because Warwick was a little kid when he did it. You know, they were like, "Oh, we had him going and doing this or that." You know, it was funny. Those guys were a trip, man.
I mean, have you seen that video by Spectre Creative? I think it came out yesterday when he's talking about the editing of Star Wars. And there's one that's quite high up in the credits, but he's only got one line. And the reason why is the trench run. Luke Biggs went down the trench twice, apparently, in the original edit.
Ah.
And this guy's got a lot of lines to do with that. And that is something I never knew. So
and it got cut out, so all his lines disappeared. Wow.
Yeah. He's still learning stuff about Star Wars. 40 odd years later, it's unbelievable. That's why I love it so much.
All right, let's see. I got something. G-Force was here. And,
Mr. G.
Yep, I already cracked it open and read the notes. I haven't.
I only met Kellen and Ball. I met Kellen and Ball. They called my name out.
And, I think it's the first one on the set of the set.
There you go.
Yeah. And
are you teasing me now?
I'm sorry. I just got the notification that my GameStop pre-order of the Disney Plus wave is shipping, all but Loki and one other one aren't shipping with the rest of them.
All right.
Even though I put them all through at the same time.
So you will eventually have the full wings.
I'll have the full set. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then I did experiment with doing the silver on the sword. Yep. Because that very pale plastic was not, because they are all, I can make this big again.
Like chrome pennies.
Yeah. Yep. So it's all that color plastic.
Yeah. The dull gray. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just didn't look like a sword to me. It looked like a kid's toy. And then so much better. So I took a couple minutes last night to do that.
Have you seen the Jesus trailer for season 2?
No. That'll be on the list of things to watch.
It looks pretty awesome. It is based on Blood of Elves, the book Blood of Elves.
Okay.
And it's more based on Siri.
Yeah.
Which, again, getting a training. So that's going to be so good. Can't wait. But I think there's like 3 series coming out. There's 3 different. There's like 2 prequels.
Oh, wow.
Isn't there an animated thing coming?
Yeah, there's an animated prequel.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Another one coming out, and then The Witcher season 2.
But is Cavill doing the voice for the animated one? Do we know?
I don't know. It'd be nice if he did. I know there's July 9th, I think there's like a WitcherCon. And I think it's all online.
And that board game, I sent you the link.
The TV series.
I sent you the link to that miniatures board game thing. And
that looked awesome. I wish I'd known about that earlier.
Did you see the backers? If you sit, it's a Kickstarter for this Witcher board game with like a ton of miniatures. And I think they had to do a Kickstarter because of how many miniatures they wanted to bring with it. And miniatures can be expensive. Yeah. These days. So, but I was watching the Kickstarter and you can see it roll. It goes like the backers.
6 million.
It was like like 1 or 2 more backers get added, 10 more backers get added. A bunch of it was just you could watch the counter just scroll up as you're sitting on the page.
I wasn't saving money. For
I know. Yeah.
I would have snapped that up if I'd have known about it a month ago.
Yeah,
I would have got that definitely. But I'm hoping that he'll get a general release. And
yeah, with the amount of backers they're getting, maybe they will. Maybe they'll consider it because.
Oh, it's got to do. It looks phenomenal. Really does.
All right, let's see here. So you Mark, you were saying how much Raiders meant to you. If you guys want to start, obviously I watched it, years after it was released, but it was one of those movies that I watched with my mom. We watched pretty much all the Indiana Jones movies except Temple of Doom. My mom did not like it at all. So that's the one that I've probably seen the least. Yeah. But Raiders is definitely the one I've seen the most.
Monkey brains.
Yeah. And then probably Last Crusade. But if you guys each wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about, the movie and what it's meant to you, that'd be great.
Want to go first, John? Oh, me. All right. Yeah, well, Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favourite movie of all time. Hands down. I was 11 years old. I think it was the first movie I actually went to see by myself. And the first time, I went twice to the cinema. First time I went by myself, and I think the second time I went with a friend. And when they said the thing about the snakes, to show a bit of backbone, I hate snakes. I said to my friend, remember that. So a bit of spoilers there, but yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think Indiana Jones as a big thing is just fantastic, but Raiders is the film. The music, everything in it. I'll talk about the music later when I'm talking about my top 5 bits. Mm-hmm. But I do remember, if anybody remembers, they did a documentary just for Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I had it on VHS, and I wore it down. I taped it to the TV, and I cannot find it on YouTube anywhere, and it's really pissing me off that I can't find. All you get now is the whole saga as a documentary. I just want the Raiders of the Lost Ark because it shows you Harrison Ford saying to her at the end, "Don't look," and then he gets pissed off and goes, "Go on, look." And I've not seen that since. It's just one of those things where you remember it as a kid, and I definitely had it. It's not a dream or anything like that. I had it on VHS and I wore it. I watched it that much because we didn't have the film. We didn't have the movie on a VHS until 83, I think it was 84, a long time after anyway. So the only way you could relive the film, because we didn't have the toys. We didn't have the toys over here, was to watch this documentary. Mm. So there you go.
There's a lot of those documentaries and various things that came out in the 80s, not only just for Indiana Jones, but for Star Wars as well, that for some reason they haven't included when you buy like a Blu-ray box set or some kind of big thing that has like supposedly everything. Because I remember a Return of the Jedi documentary that I used to watch to death. I think we taped it off the television show, and I watched it to death, and it had like people playing around with Salacious Crumb behind the scenes, and they were like, hey. And then it talked to the guys that were inside Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, showed everybody inside,
Yeah. And the one little guy, the thing that sticks in my head is one of the guys was like, I move the tail. I go backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. And backwards and forwards. And I just remember the backwards and forwards guy. And I'm like, why can't we get that? I want to watch it again, but in like a high definition.
He got a stiletto through the head, didn't he?
He got stuck.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Paul.
That kind of stuff was just so cool,
Yeah, Chris is at a toy convention, toy sale type thing. So
we didn't get the toys when I was a kid, but I am trying to collect them.
That's a cool one.
Hey, Scuba.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I know the accessories.
The swordsman. That's okay.
Hey,
I mean, like some of these are so.
It's just nice to have them.
Yeah, and some of them are so ridiculous when you get that accessory. Is that Sala?
Sala, yeah.
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 Yeehaw.
when I was a kid, growing up, not just as a kid, like he confused me because I saw him in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the actor, and then I saw him in like Sliders and stuff, and then he was in like Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, how can this guy be the same guy? Because he doesn't age. He never aged from Raiders of the Lost Ark to Lord of the Rings. He never aged, and I was always like, what? I thought it was a different guy. I thought it was like his son in Lord of the Rings, you know, because I was like, how could this be the same guy? The actor confused the hell out of me growing up.
He's in the new
John Rhys Davies, right?
Yeah, right. Because he was in Sliders, and he's been in everything, you know.
Hi, Doris.
Hey, Doris.
Hello. Oh no, it's the.
Oh, jeez.
My turn. So, Raiders of the Lost Ark was pretty big. Yeah, it was. I think what really resonated with me was that, like, it was one of those times as a kid where I immediately, I guess that was the time when it dawned on me that an actor plays a part. So I was going into the movie going, that's Han Solo. That's Han Solo. Han Solo's playing Indiana Jones, you know? Like, I can remember that going through my head as a kid, and it dawning on me that he's not Han Solo. He's a guy named Harrison Ford who played Han Solo and now is playing this guy. And that sort of thing also helped me really like this film. I mean, I not totally agree with Mark. I mean, Star Wars is my favorite, but Raiders was number 2, and a lot of it had to do with Harrison Ford's portrayal of the character. I think that Harrison is a brilliant actor. He's just done incredible stuff, and the way he plays this guy as sort of Indy's got humor. He's got personality. He's got he cares for people around him. But when he gets in the shit, he's a guy that's like no bullshit. You know what I mean? And I love that. I mean, I'm sure it's going to come up on one of our lists of favorite things. But when that swordsman pulls out the sword and he just pulls a gun out and shoots him, it's like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this bullshit. I'm not going to fight you. I'm just bam, you know. And he takes off and goes to help Marianne again, you know. And it's like, you can't, you know, like, what kind of character in cinema history is like that? Most of the time, they'll hand-to-hand combat that guy. And sometimes they even throw their weapons down out of honor, and they hand-to-hand combat the guy, or they get a sword and they fight him sword to sword. But it's Indy. No, screw this. I don't have time for this crap. Bam.
Oh wow.
You know, it's like that's the kind of stuff that I love.
Nolan. That's some Red Lights have an autograph of.
Cool.
She's so good looking as well. Still is.
Awesome, Doris.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, it solidified the series for me. I mean, the rest of we went and saw all of them as they were coming out, just like Star Wars, we had to go whenever there was a new Raiders. It was just a given. You just had to go. And what amazed me though is we only had the 12-inch action figure as a kid. We didn't get the 3.75s or all those, where we were big into getting Star Wars and G.I. Joe and stuff. For some reason, we only got the 12-inch for for Indiana Jones. I don't know why we never got any of these, and I wish we did, because these are awesome action figures, you know.
Yeah. Oh, they are.
But really? Yeah, that's kind of my experience with Raiders, and you know,
it gets me how they've got more articulation than the Star Wars. I mean,
their legs bend, right? You know, knees.
I mean, you've got the, like you said, the truck.
Well, I think it's because he could sit in the truck. Yeah, they wanted to make sure he could sit in the truck. So
and the Jeep and the whatever else.
Yeah. Paul brings up a good point here too, that Indy is a vulnerable character. You know, we see him get shot.
That too.
He's human. He's a human. Yeah. He's got flaws. That's totally right.
Well, where doesn't it hurt? Here. Here.
Yeah.
Here. That's another great. That's
And then
another
you fall
great.
asleep.
I'm sure it'll come up on one of our top 5. Here.
Okay, I can live with it.
So I'm not going to do a spreadsheet of our top 5 moments.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, no, that's all right.
Well, after Thursday night.
Yeah. But it was initially going to be a top 3, and then we were talking, and we were like, there are too many moments to just have it be a top 3.
Yeah.
So we'll do a top 5, and you can let us know as we go along too what your favorite moments are too. So I can go ahead and start it, and then we can go up and around.
Yeah, sounds good.
And my number 5 is the bar fight. Really close to the beginning, where he grabs the metal and it
burns his hand.
It burns his hand. That imagery is just always stuck in my head, and then especially when they show it later on, and that's how they.
It's on there too, isn't it? It's on the figure, right? Yeah.
Can you show that? Hold it up again.
I don't want to show him doing a salute. Certain salute.
Oh, cool!
But it's on the palm of his hand. Yeah.
And just that whole the opening segment is really great for me, but it's that bar fight where he gets his ass kicked a little bit, and you see him be really resourceful, and I absolutely love that first fight scene that we really get.
Yeah, Marion saves him basically.
Yeah. Okay, John, go ahead with your number.
With me.
5.
Well, my number 5 is also it's like a creepy moment. It's the way they did the camera work and the way that they filmed this movie. Like I think it's when they find where the Well of Souls or whatever you want to call that is, and they throw Indy and Marion in the pit, right?
Oh yeah.
And then doesn't he like whip and lasso the mouth of like the Egyptian statue? Do you remember those statues?
Yeah.
And when the camera work zooms up on them, and when they first see them, and you see the dog-faced Egyptian guys, is that it's not Horus, right? Who is that dog face? Anubis, right? And it's just the way the cameras pan in on each of those statues and show you the teeth and the way they're built and everything. And for some reason that always gripped me as a kid, and it very well could have got me interested. This movie could have got me interested in Egyptian symbolism and architecture and things, because those shots where the cameraman just zooms in on those statues and just shows them, and it's like, and then I was reminded of like Thundercats with Mum Ra and his temple with all those statues and everything. So it's like, it's all that stuff that just plays together in that moment that I really enjoyed. And I mean, it's more of like the way the cameraman did stuff than the actual scene itself,
Yeah. It was really funny. I laughed so hard because when they open it up and there's that flash and they see the Anubis head and
that too. That's what I mean. Yeah, all that together. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all that together.
That whole scene.
Yeah, it's a lot of comedy in the film.
It's just a testament to how well the film is crafted, how well it's put together, because they've got moments like that where you just, whoa, look at that thing, like.
Thanks, Sean. All right, Mark, go ahead with your number 5.
Number 5 is simply just the opening when he goes and get the idol, because we don't know who this guy is.
Yeah,
the film is called Raiders of Lost Ark. You don't know who Indiana Jones is at this point, and this guy is great for helping. He's, what I mean. He's all this motley gang he's with, and he could be anybody. He could be the baddie for all we know.
Yeah,
and just that establishing thing of him going in to get the idol, and then him getting out, and then the boulder running after him, and you by that point you're on his side.
Yeah.
So just that opening thing, and it's nothing really to do with the rest of the film.
Well, it's kind of like a James Bond opening where they always have like a mission that he's on for the first 2 seconds.
Apart from like showing you who Belloc is, it's nothing else to do with the film.
Yeah. But I always like things like that. Like some of those intros of some of the James Bond movies are some of my favorite parts of James Bond also, where they have that short little thing for 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning that's sort of a side mission, or he's finishing up the last mission before he gets on to what the movie's about.
Yeah.
And I always like those kind of things, and that's what this was for Indiana Jones,
I watched it this morning. I realized that I didn't have a physical copy of it, or I couldn't find a physical copy of it. I know it wasn't for me. I looked and it wasn't. So I went on Vudu and I got the Ultra HD 4-movie collection so far. But I watched it one of the first things in the morning.
What I hate about it being on Netflix, it's called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of Lost Ark.
Right.
And it's not called that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah.
Laserdisc. Wow. Yeah, and those Nazi monkeys.
Mr. Yeah, it was on sale, and it was all 4 movies, and it was pretty easy. Everybody saying hey to each other.
I've got it on DVD anyway somewhere.
Yeah, I had it when it was just the 3-movie DVD collection before.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Came out, and I can't seem to find it. It's not in my movie.
All right.
So I was like, I'll get it digitally, and then when the 5 movies are out together, I'll get it on.
Does it just come out in 4K?
Yeah, there is 4K now. Yeah, there's 4K now. See, I realized today that I was going to watch it, and I realized that I had the 3-pack DVD like you're talking about, Brandon, and I realized I sold that about a year ago with the expectation that I was going to take the money from selling the DVD box set and buy it digitally and upgrade it from DVD to like Blu-ray quality or whatever. Yeah. And then I never went ahead and bought the digital version. So I actually don't I realized today that I don't own them. So I got to do what you did and just buy the 4-pack on Vudu. Yeah. But after Disney, because I'm saving all my money right now for Disney.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, why isn't it on Disney Plus?
That's what I was thinking too. It should be on Disney Plus. But does Paramount still have something to do with?
Paramount.
Probably do a license.
Paramount has it because when I went on Netflix, I have it, and then when I went to watch it on Amazon Prime, it said free if you do the 7-day trial of Paramount Plus, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it.
See, I think Paramount has partial rights, and they're not going to let it be on Disney Plus because they want to have.
That might be something to do with no figures then as well, which is totally stupid.
All right, so my number 4 is the whole market scene. And John was saying earlier when the big guy with the sword comes out and he's just like, screw this, and shoots him. It's you really get a feeling of how Indy just doesn't care. He's like he could fight this guy, but just boom, I'm gonna get this over with. And them hiding in the baskets and just everything involving that scene, and then Indy thinking that Marion has died, and just everything with that. It really is fun. And watching it, I forgot how much I love this movie. I watched it a lot when I was a kid with my mom because it's one of her favorite movies. But I really enjoyed my watch this morning.
Yeah,
I always was wondering though when I was a kid, like, when did they set up the fake truck with the fake stall? It's a fake.
Don't even think about it.
It's a fake shop, and they run them in there, and then it closes the thing, and they drive away, and you're like, wait a minute. How did they know that's how they were going to trap? Yeah. Like, when did they set this all up?
It's a 40s serial. It's like when the door's coming down. That door's coming down for about half an hour.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron.
Hello.
Cheers, Aaron.
And we'll talk a little bit about this too. In a little bit. Mark's. So Mark, John, go ahead with your number 4.
Oh, the next one.
Yep.
The next one that I'm going to do, I think, is the. I was always intrigued by the end of the film, the very, very end, when they show them taking the Ark and they put it in that wooden crate and they just send it into that that warehouse of endless things, you know. And it's like it made me think, like, as a kid, I was always like, how much secret stuff is in there? Like, are the remains
That's
to
where they came from.
yeah, like the remains to Bigfoot, are they hiding in there? Is like, oh, there's the Roswell spaceship, you know, it's in the one of those boxes, you know, like
Well, it's
all
meant
this
to be Area
stuff.
51, isn't it?
Like you would assume, right, that I guess based on later movies that it's Area 51, right?
Yeah.
But so it just intrigued me as a kid that there could be this warehouse that the government has with all this secret stuff and ancient technology and various things that we've lost throughout history that are in this warehouse, you know, and we never know they're gonna, you know, you'd never know that they're in there. Always thought that was an intriguing thing,
unbelievable part of the film.
Gavin.
And it's cool to see, like looking at things nowadays. You see, like on Gravity Falls, there was a room like that with all these boxes, and it's been on Rick and Morty, and I think The Simpsons even did it. Of course, The Simpsons did it, right? Yeah. And you know, so it's just fun to see like that ending made such an impact on people that it's been copied and reused in multiple franchises throughout, you know, pop culture.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, number 4.
Mine's same as yours.
Same.
But it's just the sword fight.
Yeah.
And I suppose everybody knows the story behind that, don't they?
Yeah.
Harrison Ford everybody was getting stomach ache from the food in Tunisia, and Harrison Ford was really ill that morning. So he just says, "Can we just shoot him?" And that's the best bit in the film.
Yeah.
It was meant to be this long
a fight scene. Yeah,
proper fight scene with this guy, this sword fighting guy, and it didn't happen until Temple of Doom, which was meant to be a prequel.
That's right. Yeah.
So that happened before. Anyway.
Yeah, Temple of Doom is supposed to be before Raiders, right? If you watch it in chronological, you're supposed to watch Temple of Doom, Raiders, then Last Crusade, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. John Williams. I mean, that's any movie.
Too. Yeah, I mean,
any movie with John Williams' score is, you know, the movie. They're not the same without the music. It really adds to it.
I think this is the best John Williams score as well as the best film. I think it's the best music. I mean, he's done Star Wars. He's done Superman. It's probably up there as well.
Yeah.
I think this, because didn't he have 2 tunes? And I think he went to Steven Spielberg and says, "Which one do you want?" And he said both of them. So he put them both in, and that's what he came up with.
You ever think about this with John Williams for a minute? Like,
hey, Josh,
what other music composer can you think of that, like, to me, every time I think of a jingle, so I think of Star Wars, you know, the dun, 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 or the Indiana Jones, or the Superman theme, or the Jaws theme, dun, 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 dun. Like every single theme you can think of, you know, the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you know, like, it's all John Williams.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you think of a theme, like a it's, you know, like, who did that? Oh, it's John Williams. Of course it is. You know, like how can this all have come from one guy? Yeah. Like, it blows my mind that, like,
and it's very rarely it crosses over. Sometimes though, you're listening to one soundtrack and think that sounds like that. It's totally different movie.
Yeah.
But it's very rare that happens.
Yeah.
But I do like composers. I do like the movie composers. Alan Silvestri.
And Danny Elfman is number 2, because Danny Elfman has been doing the same thing. His themes are recognizable, and like, I think Elfman is, I mean, yes, you could say the modern day John Williams in almost in a sense, you know, that, because you want to get, if you can't get John Williams, you want to get Danny Elfman, basically.
Yeah, Alan Silvestri, who did the Back to the Future, also does the Avengers.
That's true. Yes, you're right. Yep.
It's the same instruments. So that's why it sounds similar.
You're right, yeah, because that Avengers theme is just unbelievable, and that's going to stick with people forever. You know?
Oh,
yeah.
I hear it all the time because
I know.
watching Disney Plus and it's the beginning. I just hear it all the time now. It's annoying, really, but I like it. So.
And when that was booming in the theater, I mean, it went like an instant. For an instant, it went dead quiet. Cap picks up the hammer and the shield, and he's like, I'm he's not going down. And then the music, the Avengers music kicks in. You were just like, I remember everyone in that theater was like, whoa! It was just one of those moments that's just going to.
Well, that's it. If it like the music for Star Wars wouldn't be the same film without that music.
Yeah. Well, and I remember that too. Weren't they talking before? I mean, like that's they were questioning George's decision on Star Wars to put a sort of classical music. They wanted him to use like pop music or something from the radio, and he was like, no, it's got to be this like classical theme.
Yeah, there wasn't a classical score since 2001, I think.
Yeah. So and he was definitely right.
The 20th Century Fox have re-recorded that. They hadn't used that since the 30s or the 40s. And it's the first time they used it since then. And they re-recorded it. And they did it in the same key as the Star Wars tune. So it followed on from it.
Gotcha.
So my number 3 is the staff room when he puts the staff and the light goes through.
Yeah.
And the music that comes in.
Yeah, music again.
And
the R2-3PO on the wall.
Isn't there an Obi-Wan cafe or something like that too?
Yeah, Temple of Doom on it. Yeah,
there's a Temple of Doom that has that. Okay,
Club Obi-Wan, I think it's called.
Yeah. So that's my third one is that staff room.
Well, it's so cool when they see the light beam like move across, because it's going to go right through and then it hits the eye and it goes.
And the sound effect from the music.
Like it beams out like a freaking thing and turns red, and then you see it like glare right where it's supposed to be buried or whatever. It's so cool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So what's your third one, John?
I'm going to say the face melting at the when I was a kid.
Still the effects still hold up.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wasn't that a trick?
The practical effects.
Wasn't that a trick where they did something? Isn't there something to do with like backwards photography or something weird with that? See, like how they did it. Like, well, do you know how they did? Because a lot of people think it's just wax melting, but I was like,
it's like stop motion into it.
When you find out it's something else, and that there's portions of it that are filmed in reverse, so that
there's something to do with that. Yeah,
I was like, whoa!
It's like the cloud effects. I think they were done in a tank
of water, like thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, that whole scene where you have all those ghosts and those things flying around and they're going through people and the one guy's face is melting and all that. It's just like, and then the box gets shut closed and those two open their eyes and it's like all over. It's just such a.
Yeah, I think it's the lid going back on the box that's reversed.
Maybe that's what was reversed. Yeah, maybe they blew it off. Yeah. I knew that some part of that scene was done in reverse, and it was like, oh, that's how they did it. Yeah, maybe it was the lid. They blew the lid off, and then they played it in reverse so the lid would fly back on. Yeah. But it was just so cool how they integrated all these different things into that one scene, and then crafted a perfect moment again. Yeah.
Mark, number 3
is the horse chase, and again. It's the music at the beginning when it goes dun 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 dun. And it's like serious music and it's like him riding the horse and it just fits in perfectly. And just that scene, that entire scene is part of the film where he's beating up all the Germans and he gets the truck and he's going, yes, he's got it, and it's just fantastic. Again, it's the music. It's the music. And I tried to get that music, so I never got the soundtrack album. I got Temple of Doom on cassette, but I could never get the the soundtrack album for Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I got it a couple of years back, double album. It's like reissued, and it's got that music on, and I play that quite a lot. Love it.
Nice. Well, my number 2 is the airfield fight with the big guy.
Oh, yes.
And then the blades coming and getting him.
Propeller.
But the whole scene, the gas truck exploding and Marion getting stuck and Indy having to, try and get her out, and the Germans and Belloc all like realizing stuff's going down all well.
Jones.
And what Paul said earlier, where like one of the first thing that happens when Indy is fighting that big guy, he takes a shot right to the face and falls down. Like I just love it because you realize that like, oh, this is going to be an actual fight. And I mean, obviously, the hero's going to make it, but just they make it so much fun. And that's the best thing is you're sitting there. Even I don't even know how many times I've watched the movie, but every time you watch it, you're sitting there and you're on the edge of the seat, like waiting for it. And I love it so much.
And again, the angles they use, there's that wide shot where they show the whole plane and it's slowly turning as they're fighting under it, and they got to duck underneath the one wing. I mean, it's like, and that thing is a flying wing, which for a lot of us, that was the first time we saw one. At least for me, it was the first time I saw a flying wing, and I was like, are these planes real? And I had to go look them up when I got home, and I was like, oh my gosh, they are. Yeah. I had to go to the library and check out books on planes and be like, oh my gosh, look at these cool things, when I always think of the sound, like when Indy gets hit, you got that really loud smack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
the sound effects in this film are brilliant. The gunshots and the thuds, it's just amazing.
Yeah, they're a little overly exaggerated, but it makes for good film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that called when there are people who do the sound effects? I forget the name.
Foley, right? Foley?
Yes, Foley artists. Yes, thank you. Yeah, anytime I learn more about how they make certain sounds, I love behind the scenes stuff. So if I can track
like John said about the documentary about Star Wars, there was something in that about the sound effects and how they made each, like the TIE fighter and things like that. And it's just amazing how what they used to make the sound effects. Unbelievable.
They're out there pounding on wires and cables and scratching on the side of telephone poles and recording the noise, like it's unbelievable.
All right, John, you're number 2.
It's it's Reggie, when after all the crap goes down, Indy jumps in the plane, they're taking off, they get up into the air, everything seems to be safe, and suddenly you hear this, there's a snake! Jacques, I hate snakes! There's a snake on the plane! And he goes, oh, that's just Reggie. And he looks like he's ready to jump out of the seat. I mean, Indy is just like half out of that seat. And you're like, but you're in an airplane, don't jump! You see the snake climbing up his legs, and you're like, oh my gosh. It's just such a... It also like just goes to that style of character that Harrison created with Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? Like it's the way he plays that. It's not necessarily just like a totally freaked out scared guy. There's still something there in the character more than just the cheesy scared guy. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to describe, but it's like it's got more gravitas than just something,
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Why did it have to be snakes? Yeah, and he just brings it up in every movie.
Yeah. Mark, number 2.
The bit where he's on the boat and I don't know if it's submarine or U-boat, but that pops up. Marion gets taken away, and they're all saying, "Where is he? Where is he?" I've just found him. He's there, and it goes da 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 da. Oh, hairs on your neck. Oh, just makes you so proud. I don't know why. Again, it's the music.
Yeah.
And you catch your breath, and oh yes, that's what makes the movie. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And that U-boat was from Das Boot. They borrowed it from Das Boot.
Cool.
So it's a proper U-boat.
Good bit of trivia there. Cool.
Well, my number one is one that's already been mentioned, and it's the whole, not the last scene, but the scene with the Ark and the face melting. And, just you can almost feel, because you see the storm start brewing, and as you're watching it, you can almost feel the electricity building, like something bad is going to happen here. And there's that subtle music in the background building up that, and then it starts to get quiet. And when the lightning goes through all the Nazis, and oh my gosh, just that. It really is such an amazing movie, and it ends on such a high note. And then, like John said, with the going through the warehouse, but that last scene, just I need to see that documentary about how they did all that stuff, because any special effects, any stuff like that, concept art, anything really has my interest. So knowing that they have that now, I need to check it out. But it's that last. Little bit of the movie.
Has there any books come out for the 40th anniversary or anything like that? There's been nothing else there.
Barely. I mean, I haven't heard of anything. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yag bomb shots with Mary.
She would drink me under the table. I guarantee it. I have no chance. Yeah.
And then, John, what is your number one?
Well, it's kind of related to what Mark brought up before, but I like the whole beginning. And I mean, it's a little bit different, because what I liked about the beginning was the traps. I thought it was pretty ingenious that they had, he goes through and he's got that light. First he's got to jump over this gap that's you're barely able to jump over, and he barely makes it, and he's got to scramble up. And then he's got the light trap, and you see later on when he's going to leave, you see the guy who stole the idol stuck in the spikes, he forgot that trap was there or something, and it got him. And then there's the things on the floor, all the stuff on the floor where the comes out. And then you've got, if you don't do the bag right, if it doesn't weigh right, it's going to cause the ball to come down and the whole temple's going to crash. And, it's one of those things where now that has become iconic in film. Everyone.
I'm just thinking, is that the first time that's ever been used? Well, not ever.
It may have been
before, but
it may have been King Solomon's Mines and things like that, because those kind of movies are what influenced Spielberg and George when they were doing this stuff. So there may have been some in King Solomon's Mines, but not to this degree. You know what I mean? They amped it up with that giant boulder and all this over the top stuff, and then I think that trope, that thing, well, it became a trope after that, where a lot of different films used it, that idea. And it's just, I just think it's ingenious. It's great. And it is over the top. I mean, there's too many spear things shooting out. There's the boulder's just absurd, but it fits Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? You don't question it when you're watching it, but if you're outside the box and you think about it, you're like, what the hell? How did they build this giant boulder? These ancient people have this giant bolt on a track system that comes, but it doesn't matter, because it's great film. It's great entertainment. It's just awesome. And the way Indy looks when he's running, it's just, again, a testament to Harrison's acting. He's got to hold onto his hat and get out of it. That whole, he's got this jerky motion that's not 100% heroic. It's a little bit I'm almost stumbling, but I'm going to get out of here, He's always got to grab his hat and keep it from falling off. It's just great. It's just great.
Crazy. Even my father enjoyed this film, and he spent some of the war years building airfields in South America just in case Nazis held Europe.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, they worked on it together, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
They went on holiday to Hawaii when the Star Wars came out, and they talked about it there, and they made it up there on the holiday after Star Wars.
I think doesn't the story go that they were both saying, I've always wanted to do a movie where this happens. Yeah, well, I want to do one where this happens. Okay, let's throw that in there. And they were like, It wasn't Kasdan, or who was the third guy? Wasn't it Kasdan or someone else that was in there talking? And he was like, "Yeah, I want to throw this in the pot." Yeah, and they all kind of just were throwing their favorite things in the pot, and out came Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Spielberg was trying to get the rights to James Bond.
Gotcha.
George Lucas says, "I've got this character I've got in my head called Indiana Smith." So it just cartwheel from there, really. That's it. It's an interesting story. It needs I've obviously read the books and listened to documentaries and everything like that. But yeah, it needs to come out in a book. The story of Indiana. I'm sure there is one out there. George, you want to know my favourite bit?
Yeah, your last bit.
Number one.
It's just simply a line that encompasses the whole of the film. It's the comedy of it. It's the kind of seriousness, the kind of the acting that Harrison Ford does, and the character that Indiana Jones is. And it's I'm making it up as I go along.
Yeah.
I think that's the line that I remembered most from seeing it for the first time. It's just like, it's kind of breaking the fourth wall a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember that probably the most.
I
don't know, I'm making up as I go along.
It's funny because he says that again in Expendables 3. When he's in Expendables 3 and they're like, "What are we going to do?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along."
Yeah.
Nice.
Classic line.
I think one of my favorite lines that just absolutely got me was when Belloc is going to close him up in the tomb. And he's like, maybe, who knows, maybe in 1,000 years even you'll be worth something. And
you're right.
Son of a bitch. It got me. I love the humor. Every bit of the humor sticks. You know, some of those movies, they say something, it's like, oh, well, that was cheesy as hell, but it all is in character, and it's all is super, super funny.
It fits in the universe they've created. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a cheesy one-liner that's thrown in there. It's like sometimes you see it in a movie and you're like, that doesn't really make sense, or it doesn't seem to fit. But in these movies, they always seem to fit. It works in the universe.
It's kind of the cheekiness of Han Solo.
Yeah.
You know, with Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones, he's probably Harrison Ford, basically.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of himself. He's supposed to be a funny guy, isn't he? So.
Yeah. And, you know, when I was watching that, I was thinking about that. Like, you obviously see in Star Wars where Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford basically had to come up with a lot of the dialogue because it was so hard, and they were like, but I wonder, especially with Indiana Jones, or with Harrison being so sick when they filmed that market and the sword scene, it's like, you wonder how much he was like, well, we need to do this here instead. You know, I always wonder what lines were completely from his imagination when it came to some of that stuff. Yeah. Because he really did make the characters of Han Solo and Indiana Jones work.
Yeah.
Because they're similar, but he clearly makes them different characters. Yeah. And that's what I love so much about Harrison Ford and both of these, franchises.
I'm not saying if you didn't know, you wouldn't think it was the same person, but really, if you're thinking about it, if you're watching one film, you're not thinking about Han Solo. If you're watching you're not thinking about Han Solo. When you're watching Han Solo, you're not thinking about Indiana Jones. It's just like two totally different people.
Yeah.
Which it should be.
Yeah. So to segue on from that, I'm going to show what Mark put up here to add to the stream.
Yeah, this is it's on the Disney Store. If you've got spare $130.
Now, is it made out of metal? Is it some kind of metal and then plated, or is it like a plastic thing?
I'm not sure.
Because for that much metal, for that much money, I would like it to be metal and be like have weight to it. I'd like it to have weight. You know.
There's a few details. The blue link,
resin. It's a resin.
Yeah, resin. Not a toy. Resin figure, yeah. Yeah, so there you go.
G-Force is saying even his character from American Graffiti was similar.
Yeah.
John, that statue needs to come with a bag of sand.
Yeah, right.
Bag you can fill with sand.
Like, you got to get your own sand.
But I don't know. I didn't mind Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I know it's one of those movies that gets bagged on way more than it probably should, just because of a couple parts. But how many years was it between Last Crusade and Crystal Skull? Because I remember going to the movie theater.
19 years.
It was really that long? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember going to the movie theater, and at the time Shia LaBeouf had been in the Transformers movies and stuff like that, and he was a pretty big name. And
yeah, it was all property back then, wasn't it? Then he went in, screwed it up.
Right. But I was really excited, and then when I heard that they had announced a fifth Indiana Jones movie, I was just like, oh boy. But now that I'm seeing some of the things from the set, and it really does seem like they're putting extra time into it, and we can don't want to do that, but there's set images, and you can see Harrison Ford there with Kathleen Kennedy and
Baron Zemo.
Yeah. And there are a lot of names that are already attached to this that are pretty exciting. Oh God, did the voice of Dobby, and Zola in Captain America. And
yes, I know who you're talking about. Armin Zola, yeah.
Yeah, Armin Zola, yeah. And there's an image of that actor, Toby. Is it Toby Jones?
Squirrely guy with the glasses.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And there you can see the image, and there's the dots, the black dots. So they're doing some sort of face scanning, probably most likely de-aging. But I'm excited for it. I think we're gonna get that that similar feel out of it, and I don't think they're gonna turn it into something that it's not. I think they're really going to. They've said this is the last one, right?
Well, it'll be the last one with Harrison Ford.
Right. Yeah, and I really do think they'll.
We don't know if the character will continue on in some fashion.
Right. And I think we're really going to get a fitting, not a send-off for the character, but a fitting send-off for Harrison Ford. I think the people who are involved with these stories, like, say what you will about The Rise of Skywalker, and I know, people's different feelings on that movie, but there are two moments in that movie that absolutely get me, and it's the scene with Adam Driver and Harrison Ford, and it's just two great actors having a great moment. Oh, yeah. And then when Chewbacca finds out about Leia, and those are the two scenes that hold the most emotional weight. And I think we're going to get, they know that they need to send Harrison Ford off in a really good way. And I think that they're going to do that. I know some people are already saying it's going to be terrible, and that, it's going to be aliens and space travel.
It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings series is going to be terrible, even though nobody's seen it. Eternal, that's going to be terrible. Nobody's seen it.
Yeah, and I think people just need to wait, and why even say something if you don't know?
We know why.
You're right.
I hope they don't de-age him the whole film. I have a feeling that they won't. I think it's
like a flashback into it. Yeah, there's Nazis in it, so I think it's just a flashback.
And I don't remember where I saw it, and I should have tried to find the source, but I saw something saying it's rumored that it's going to be set space race with Nazi scientists. Maybe
on the moon, like landing on the moon.
Jones plays a good Nazi scientist.
So
Done that before.
Hey, maybe they land on the moon and they find an artifact on the moon, and that's the whole artifact that he's got to talk about or figure out. Who knows?
And Captain America on the moon.
Yeah, Captain America's on the moon.
and then
It could be crossover.
On the de-aging thing, I do not think Harrison Ford as an actor would allow them to de-age him for the entire film.
Yeah.
I think Harrison as an actor would just be like, okay, we can do it for a few scenes, but I want my face, I want my likeness to be on the film as Indiana Jones in this last movie. I don't want it to be the whole film. Plus, think about the cost of that for a full 2-hour movie. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't see them de-aging him for the entire film. That just seems a little ridiculous. So I think it's got to be, like Mark said, flashbacks, or heck, what if he goes back in time? So the old Harrison is running around in the past.
You want to know what just popped in my head? What if they got Alden Ehrenreich to play a young Han Solo?
There you go.
People would lose it.
The young Indiana Jones, yeah.
Indiana.
Chris Pratt.
Well, you remember...
he finds a fountain of youth and turns it to Chris Pratt.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you remember...
Yeah, true.
One of the Coreys, right? Wasn't it one of the Coreys that played him in one of the other films as a young Indiana? Or was that
River Phoenix?
River Phoenix, not one of the. River Phoenix hung out with the Coreys, Feldman and those guys, but what I mean is, like, and then
he took him off perfectly.
Yeah, he would have been the perfect
Indiana
Jones, but unfortunately the Viper Club incident happened and River passed. So or River was killed, depending on how you want to look at it.
I'm going to add these right now before I forget about it. But we're not going to go the full time that we usually go. Yeah. But I wanted to bring up the 2 shows that are on tonight. In less than a half an hour, Sleeping Collectibles is going to be live. And then in an hour, 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard is going to be live with Out of the Basement. And, you know, as a community, we always like to support the other shows that are going on. I've had a lot of fun getting to know a lot of those guys and spending more time doing things. And we've started a Sunday night movie club that started on a Dude's Nerdery channel, and we watched The Phantom Menace.
That was fun.
Last week was Predator, and this week will be Predator 2.
So stick around.
Yeah. It's so much fun getting to know, and like Destination Stone, I didn't know Dwayne very well at all, and then we did a Gundam build together, and then we were playing that Ark game last night, and it's so much fun to find different hobbies and different things within our hobbies that we get to meet people. So definitely support Sleeping. There's the link for it, and then there's the link for the 3 Men and the Monkey Lizard. And let's try to get 100 viewers on 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard so we can see Shatterstar opened up.
Oh, is that their goal?
Yeah.
I'm all for getting Shatterstar open. Shatterstar.
Yeah.
You've wanted that ever since you first showed it.
The first time you put it up as a hit, I was like, we'll do Shatterstar, and then it wasn't a joke. I was serious.
Yeah.
That was my pick for opening. But nobody likes him, so then it just became a running gag. Yeah. But Brandon, Mark, if you don't mind, speaking about being thankful for the channel and the people that we've met, that is exactly why I want to do Christmas in July and give away these gigantic packs. And I want to show you a couple of things
Christmas
here.
Every day. Yay!
Yeah. So every Monday in July, I'm going to be giving away 2 giant, massive prize packages per Monday night live stream episode. So there'll be 8 giant packages in total. And one of them is going to have this
You know,
this
I will.
this animation cell, and it also comes with the actual drawing, which has all of the numbers on it for the color coding. And when you win this, what you can do, if you choose to, you can frame it in a way that I framed this one, where you've got the drawing next to the actual colored image. And it's, so that gives you an idea of how you can frame that once you get it. But not only do you get that in this prize package, not only do you get that in this prize package, you also get the same person who wins that cell will also win this book, the Imperial Death Star Haynes Guide. You will also win this giant stack of comic books.
Wow.
Shattered Empire #1, The Road to, some people might not care, but I think it's a cool comic. A TIE Fighter, TIE Fighter comic from the recent Marvel stuff. Darth Vader Annual #1.
Oh,
look at that cover.
Cool.
Brandon's going to love this one. A lot of you guys who love these Hot Toys. Star Wars #15 with the awesome Obi-Wan Kenobi Adventurer cover.
With those goggles. Yep, the goggles and the...
That was turned into a Hot Toy. Yep. And a Mythic, right? Wasn't it also a Mythic statue?
Yeah, the Mythos statue.
Mythos. That's it, yeah.
And then a sideshow piece, yeah.
And then this, Dr. Aphra #3, the original series #3.
Yeah.
Star Wars, the adaptation from the original script. Script. So you've got lightsabers on stormtroopers and stuff.
Yeah. It's hard to follow, is that?
And we're going back into Dark Horse days. Rebel Heist with Princess Leia.
That's a nice cover.
Nice bit of Leia.
An awesome Star Wars #1 with this great artwork. Look at that Boba Fett on there and everything.
Yeah.
We're going way back in history. Star Wars Rogue Squadron #1.
Oh, cool.
#1.
Rogue Squadron #1 of 4.
Bit of Wedge.
Look at that. Look at that. Crimson Empire. Who remembers this? 1, 2. You get it. And not only that, but there's also action figures in this pile. You get Quill and you get a Hondo Onaka. So we're covering all the bases. That is one prize package out of the 8. And so you get lucky winner will get all that stuff. And that's just one out of the 8 prize packages. Like, each of these things are going to be massive. And one of the Star Wars prize packages will include a vintage Kenner Return of the Jedi action figure still on card from 1983.
That's awesome, John.
So July is going to be an amazing month for giveaways on the Super Awesome Geek Show channel. So thanks for letting me have a little bit of time.
Yeah, no problem. It's all good.
I'm giving away Greedo.
For Christmas in July? Yeah.
Nice for me, yeah, monthly.
Oh, yeah. This month, then. He's your this month giveaway?
Yeah. Greedo. Yeah, it's gone up. I bought it from Amazon for £20. It's gone up to £35. So Amazon are scalping you.
Yeah, that's right.
I got one on Mercari for slightly more than retail. And then I pre-ordered that one from Amazon, and then I didn't realize that I got the one from Mercari. So it arrived, and then I was going to go cancel the one from Amazon, but it had already shipped. So I got it, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it, and I'm going to send it to John Joker. So we did a little bit of a trade. So that's
cool. Cool. I'll give all my collection to John Joker.
I just want to give back to the community, and this is my way of giving back. And I've kind of been planning this for a couple months, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, but now I'm at a point where I know it's definitely going to work out. So I just want to talk it up and get everyone hyped.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yep. And you planned on having like a co-host to help.
Yeah, every episode we'll have some I'm hoping you guys. I'm hoping you guys will be on the first one, maybe the 1000th Ghost also. So we'll have like a Pegwarmers for the opening night,
Definitely.
And then Shabby and Tez want to be on one for later in the month. So and then hopefully we'll get Salacious and the crew on a different one, and maybe Sleeping on one. So I want to get a lot of the guys, and we'll rotate through and help give this stuff away.
Good.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like how it's not just all Star Wars. There's other.
There's Marvel. There's 2 DC packages, 2 Marvel packages, 3 Star Wars packages, and 1 that encompasses a variety of things like G.I. Joe, Transformers, even X-Files, Bionic Man is in there, Pac-Man is in that pile. So there's the random lot has a pile of various different things. So
Bionic Man.
Ooh, yeah, there's a Bionic Man comic book. I couldn't believe I found. Yeah.
I love him, Bionic Man.
Yeah.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Should have used that earlier, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, rats.
I love that.
They've done a Hot Toy or Sideshow of Indy, right? Haven't they? Wasn't there one in the past, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one on eBay today. It was like £600. No, can't afford £200 for my Vaders.
Yeah.
There's so many I want. So many Hot Toys I want. Oh.
See, he's another one like Yoda that's got to be redone because
Yes.
we want to have it in that
40th anniversary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Dear. Why? The thing is, like the things like that are on the Disney store. The T-shirts, indie T-shirts are on the Disney store. So it's on Disney Plus.
See you, Josh.
See you, Josh.
See you, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. That's YouTube for you.
Yeah.
I hate these guys.
So I woke up this morning to the thing from YouTube saying I could start the whole process for monetization.
Brilliant.
Nice.
So for some reason I had an AdSense account all set up.
Yeah.
And then they needed to verify something. So now they're checking the AdSense and then it'll do the YouTube.
Yeah. It takes so. You need to get a code and get your bank account sorted and your ID. Your ID. Oh, it's a right pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, and it won't even let me do that yet because they needed to verify the AdSense first. You've got to have the limit of money, and then you can do it. It's pain in the ass, it really is.
Well, that's really what went to fund getting these vintage action figures for this giveaway. Was like last month, I took out the money from YouTube, the AdSense, and took out the Patreon support money that I had in there.
Yeah.
And that's what went to buy these vintage figures and different things for the giveaway. So I was like, all right, because I was thinking for a couple months, what am I going to do with the money that everyone's been donating to the channel? And I was like, that's the thing. I'll take all the money, buy all this stuff, and that'll be the giveaways. And then it got to be where I could get so much stuff. It just worked out because I went to a few comic shops, went to a few stores, discussed what I had in mind, and some of them were giving me deals or just saying, yeah, I'd love to participate. Let's do this. And it's worked out to where now I've got these giant prize packages. So, and it's all from the support of the community. So it's like, you guys did it. You guys made this made this happen. So, it's, and then, it's our way of saying thanks, because it's so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
I want to say hey to Southern Comic Geek. Before I hopped on this stream, I was actually on the auction and claim sale. And the other day it arrived. It was a pack of Spider-Man.
Civil War II.
Oh. Yeah. Fantastic.
Uncanny X-Men.
Yep. Thor.
Yeah, there's a Thor with Thanos on the front here. Oh, that was
there you go. Yeah. Oh, that's a good cover.
That's nice. That's a nice cover.
And it's super fun. And then I also got this one, the Secret Wars.
Oh,
and it's the one that has the printing error where Galactus is blue and silver.
Cool.
Instead of purple. So I won that on an auction thing. And I saw Sleeping Collectibles was in the auction bidding on some stuff, and I think he got a pretty cool lot with some Spider-Man stuff and the Shuri as Black Panther.
Oh, cool. That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're looking for And usually what I do is I'm just getting covers with characters that I really, really want. So if Mark, I don't know if you've ever checked it out, but they had a Black Widow one and a Strange Academy with Doctor Strange on the front, where it's the white background with, I forget the name of the variant cover, but it's I'm learning so much from watching those guys, and I'm in a group chat with all of those people that do the comic auctions, and it's super fun.
I'm trying to collect all the Dr. Aphra covers, but it's just where to put them.
Right?
I could get frames for everyone. Like I've got my Marvel first 6 Star Wars Marvel. They're all in frames. I'd like to do that with all the Dr. Aphras, but there's just no space.
Yeah.
And I've got all the variant covers, Princess Leia, as well. Got some of those, and I'd love to put those up, but it's just again space.
Yeah.
Where do you put them?
I used to, when I was in the old apartment in Seattle, I had a stripe on the top of the ceiling, like right below. Basically, it would be like right here, where it was like sort of a dead space. And it was like maybe 10 or 12 comics. But what I would do is I would rotate them out. So every month I'd put in like 12 more different covers and put those back in the collection and then, rotate. Because, when you've got thousands of comics, how do you display them all? So I would just go through and you'd pick 10 or 12 cool covers and change it. Or one month I do a theme, like it's Captain America month. These are my favorite Captain America covers, or something like that, So you could always do that, Mark. You could always just rotate those 6 out.
On the ceiling. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, or put them on the ceiling. There you go. Look at all that space up here. I got tons of space on the ceiling.
That's going to have to be an option, I think, where I'm going at the moment.
And it's nice because they do different dollar amounts for different lots, and you can claim. You have to be quick if there's one that you see that you want, but they do like $1 claim sales for these comics, and I've gotten a whole bunch of them now. I've got a stack going, and it's a lot of fun to just kind of sit there and see, because then I get to know about more. I didn't realize how many different runs of Spider-Man they had going on at the same time, and it's definitely another rabbit hole that I'm starting to fall down. But it's nice because I don't have to get every comic. I can go on Marvel Unlimited and read them. But then if there are covers that I want, and that's basically what I'm doing, is I want a cover of each main Spider-Man villain. I got one with Black Spider-Man. I'm trying to get ones with Iron Man, Thor, the Avengers. I think it'd just be, eventually it'll be a cool display wall with all the different comic covers of those characters.
Yeah, that's true. Have it rotate through. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Josh I asked for some advice on, shelving stuff, and Josh always seems to have a good suggestion for any of that. So if you, he's got 12 Detolfs in his cap cave.
Speaking of, I meant to ask, so that Ewok village fits perfectly on top of a Detolf?
Yeah, it actually does.
It's not overhanging in any weird way?
Yeah, it would, yeah.
That's cool.
It's about that much on.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. I just, because mine's sitting on the coffee table, and I'm just, when I get those Detolfs to go in the living room, I was hoping it would fit perfectly on top of one. So that's good to know.
Yeah, that does, I've just rearranged my Detolf because I put some lighting in it. I still need to do a video. I'm going to do a video of what I've changed. Basically, I haven't really changed much. I've got all my Batmobiles on one shelf now.
Yeah, isn't that cool? When you get them all together, they look awesome.
All these as well. I need a total shelf for Batman and all my Batmobiles. I've got that many.
Thanks, G-Force.
Unbelievable.
But, what I've cleaned off where I had my Ewok village on a dresser shelf over there, and right now I've got my the Gundams, MODOK, Iron Man, the Masters of the Universe. It's going to just be a random display for right now. But what I'm hoping to do is I've got a lot of wall space that I can use. So I want to get shelves so I can do a shelf of retro Spider-Man. I can do a shelf of MCU. I can do a shelf of like comic appearance characters. So there's a lot of white space on the walls here that I can utilize. I've just got, I've got my Kenny R2-D2 signed poster. I've got my TIE Fighter and X-Wing, but there's a lot of white space on these walls that is bothering me.
I've got a Detolf idea because I'm like, when the quarter scale Iron Man hot toy finally shows up, he's going to be on the bottom of the Detolf. And then I want to put in the Hall of Armor, like 6-inch that I got, and then do the Toy Biz above that. So I'll have an Iron Man Detolf. But what I'm thinking is to go along with that Detolf, I want to get one of those Iron Man 1-to-1 scale helmets to go in there as well. So it'll be a full Iron Man Detolf from top to bottom of the the quarter scale hot toy, the helmet, and then the modern and retro figures. I think it'll look cool.
Yeah,
that's every collector's problem, lack of space.
Yeah.
No, the quarter scale. How tall is that? Because my 19
inches tall.
Is
so
it? Will that still fit?
I've got to move the shelf up to about the halfway point.
Okay.
And get those. I'll have to get those clips that you can buy. You can buy the extension kits on eBay where it clips to the metal bars, and you can put the extra shelves in. So I'll just end up moving that bottom shelf up about halfway to the next one, and then space out the other two sort of evenly. Make it work. Make it work.
Yeah. So I put some risers in on my shelves.
Yeah, I've done that on one of mine. I got risers on one of the ones behind me here, so that
I put the little
one shelf
cast underneath.
Yeah, one shelf space two. So yeah.
Yeah. Looks all right. Looks better when lights are on. It makes a total difference when you've got lights in.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It does nerdery that.
See, what I don't get is my LED lights.
In that direction.
Like, look how my LED lights totally blow out the camera here.
Yeah.
Where I look at vintage Toy Rush and Scuba Pete, and we have the same LED lights, those light bars, but mine blow out the camera, and you can see everything that's in it perfectly beautiful. Yeah. I've never understood what the hell's wrong with my setup.
Is it positioning?
It might just be the angle.
Mine's at an angle. Yeah, that's
angle and
my computer. It's at an angle, so
the angle and the way that the light is diffused, probably.
Yeah, and it could have something to do with the light that's in the walk-in closet that's behind it. So because you can't see anything in that walk-in closet either.
Your strips are at the front, aren't they? Right at the front.
Huh?
Yes. My strips are right at the front. I put mine in the middle of the shelf.
Put them more in the middle.
Yeah.
Back a little bit. Yeah.
That's what Jonathan Redmond's saying there is the lights could be further back in the cabinet itself.
Yeah. So maybe it's glaring off the glass itself.
Yeah. I put them
so far forward.
I've put them more in the middle.
All right. So just to finish things up here, I put the link to the Bad Batch breakdown, which is tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time.
So do we have nonstop streams from now till the end of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much, because you got Sleeping, 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard, Bad Batch breakdown. Yeah. It's
I knew it was Rex.
Yeah. Well, that was the biggest feeling. I just, it didn't make sense why they would know him, but
you know what planet that was, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Braca. Yep. From Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. They're not expecting him to show up, but it'll be just a kid.
He'd be too. Yeah. I mean,
you guys don't have the glass doors on.
Yeah, I took the doors off.
That's right.
Part of it is that
people talk about that. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I've got to have my door on because I've paid for it. It's a
yeah. I leave the doors on. I mean, the Yoda cabinet here is a Billy bookshelf with the glass doors addition.
Okay.
So I've got the glass doors
Right.
on that.
I've been looking at the Billy.
And 2 of the shelves in that case are glass shelves that I've replaced with glass.
Yeah.
So that the lighting will shine through.
So I mentioned the Bad Batch breakdown, but do each of you guys have what's the next upcoming thing that you guys have going on?
It'll be a week from now, because the 21st of June, because this week I'm going to Disney. So
Sorry.
there's no live stream for me this week. So I'll be back on the 21st. And I was actually trying to get Infinity Toys to come on, but he can't do Mondays. So I was going to see if maybe someday Infinity Toys could come on this channel. Because I don't know if you've watched, he just started doing his YouTube videos. He's got around 100 subscribers right now. But he's an awesome guy. We've been chatting on Twitter for a long time, and he's finally decided to do a YouTube channel. And I enjoyed his videos. I really have. So I'd love to get him on.
I haven't checked them out yet.
I'd love to get him on and chat sometime, So
Yeah, that sounds good.
So since he can't do Monday the 21st, I'm going to be looking for somebody else to come on the 21st. So guest to be announced later, I guess.
Yeah. Thursday for me. Me and me.
Yeah, with the hot toy.
Hot toys.
Hot toy guys, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing a 1-to-1 on Tuesday. Because the football. I'm giving it a rest. Football's on. So
Sounds good.
priorities.
Well, thank you everybody who stopped by in the chat. It was awesome to talk to you guys about Raiders of the Lost Ark and hear what everybody's favorite parts were. Our lists could have been very similar, but I think it's funny that some of the things that weren't even on my list were on your guys' list.
I think we got a big problem.
I love it. So
Archaeology is the search for facts.
if everybody could head to this link, give Sleeping a thumbs up and say, hey, I think just head over to Sleeping and then eventually 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard in about a half an hour. And we'll see everybody in the chat. So thank you guys for great idea, Mark. I wouldn't have even thought to do a thing for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nobody else has, though. That's what
Yeah.
Well,
It needs to be done. It needs to be done, yeah.
Trust me.
All right. Sounds good, everybody. Thanks for hanging
I
out with
guess I have to go.
us. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Fortune and glory, kid.